Where we're based in Lincolnshire is in the Fens. It's flat, it's very low, it's only a few metres above sea level. When you're walking around with the big open fields and the blue sky, you think how vulnerable we actually are. There's not a lot that needs to change before we're at risk, and that brings it home. We make timber windows and doors, but we're about finding the right solutions for buildings. There's a lot you can do with a timber window and door, and just having a high quality product isn't the be all and end all. A lot of talk around sustainability is rubbish. People are trying to claim that they're carbon neutral. We've got airlines that are trying to claim that they're carbon neutral. It is just rubbish. And we've got to be very careful that we're not caught up in that same rubbish. To me, there's a lot of stuff that we don't do right. We use plastic in our packaging. We've got diesel vehicles delivering our products. There's so much that we've got to work on. There's so much that we're falling short of where we want to be. But the good thing, I feel, is that we're working on that. We're aware of it. What we do well at the moment is we've got a lot of renewable energy coming from solar panels. We use that energy very efficiently. We have a building management system. We work on minimal use of lighting, minimum amount of power used on our extraction system. Just wherever you don't need to use power, stop doing it. We use timber to make our windows. It's the best material to do so, so that's a great position to be in. But we try to reduce the waste of that. So optimised cutting uses that timber as efficiently as possible. We then use any waste that there is to power our boiler, which then heats the factory and heats the paint line. That happens through the year. Donington is where we started the business. It's been there since 1884. So I think to me it's the heritage side that's important to me. My family originated from Donington. It's always been quite a big part of the village as well. So the Red Cow Hotel in the heart of our village has been left and it has been dilapidated for over 20 years. It was worn out, it was neglected, and it really pulled down the village. People were talking about it, people were disappointed about it, and that pub now, it's been fitted with George Barnsdale windows, and you can see people are stopping, people are looking at it, people are talking about it more. It's having a really positive effect, and it just shows what effect a building can have on its local area. So Dad's a bit of a pioneer. He's always pushing for things to be better. He never accepts things as they are. He's about the science, he wants to understand things, it's about research. So we've got to get to the bottom of why things work in the way that they do.
Through here there's a salt spray tester which we use for looking at armoury. Well, this is designed for testing windows and doors for security, and it's pulling that way, and pushing this way, which would emulate somebody with a crowbar going in here and pulling it back. Yeah, that's got proper pressure on now. That would be seriously powerful with a crowbar. So that's locked as it would be. And then increase the pressure every 5 minutes until it leaks. You can see the amount of pressure here.
I think the interesting thing about Dad is he never stops. I just remember a skiing holiday that we went on, and we were skiing down a really difficult black run, and I was concentrating on staying alive, and he's not as good a skier as me, so I dread to think what he was thinking. But when we got to the bottom, we got on the chairlift, and I was breathing, trying to recover, and Dad was like, "What do you think about if we use engineered timber for this application?" So how on earth can you be thinking about that while going through this? But that's Dad. So when Dad handed over control of the business to me, it's such a responsibility. I'm now representing a business that's nearly 140 years old. I'm representing a business that has got an important part of the local community. We have nearly 70 people work for us. It's quite a responsibility, but what an exciting responsibility it is. Coming from Nissan as a design engineer, it's always been important to me to use the latest technology. We've got precision CNC machines, we've got robotics in the paint line. We also control the environment with humidity control. We then have craftsmen throughout the factory, from preparing the timber, applying the furniture, hand finishing the products. For me, the best windows and doors are that combination of precision engineering and great people.
I think the great thing about George Barnsdale is the people and also the types of clients that we work with. We work on some really interesting projects, and we don't just pick the easy ones.
All of that wall below there is coming out, so it doesn't really matter like brick courses or anything like that.
Yep.
But I think I would still understand those external measurements, because that gives you your governing of how big everything can be.
We have some quite complex projects going on, requiring things like retained facades, where we literally dismantle part of a build, the front of a building comes down, a whole new building's built up behind it, and then that's rebuilt, and you've got to try and work out the optimal way of installing and what windows are going to be best for that, all whilst it's a listed building, for example. So we love a challenge.
We spend a lot of time with architects working on specifications, get those specifications right and make that building what it should be. A good custodian of an old building really cares about its history and heritage. So they understand the building, they understand the history of the building. If that building isn't doing something for someone, what's the point? I mean, it might look nice to walk past or whatever, but what is the point? So they're creating great buildings that people want to live in, people want to work in. That requires bringing them up to modern standards. That requires bringing performance to those buildings. Combining that with preserving their history is what a great custodian of a building does. The Bishopsgate project was really special for us. We bought a listed Victorian shopfront back from site to Donington, and Mike and George really used their craft, those joinery skills that don't tend to get used on modern window production, and yeah, what the result is pretty special. We're about the long term as well. We don't want to do anything that lasts 5 years, 10 years and then has to be done again. Windows should last at least 60 years. That's the minimum standard now for timber, and ours I expect to last a lot longer than that. Everything that we're doing at the moment is to ensure there is no weaknesses and they last for as long as possible. And to me that's good value for the customer, and it's the right thing for the environment. We want to be part of the drive to restore existing buildings, maintaining their character and their heritage, but bringing them up to the standards that are required for the climate crisis that we're in. Me and Dad are very similar people. We've spent a lot of time together. We're both highly committed to making George Barnsdale progress for another 140 years and beyond.